Next up, the only politician I've seen to date actually have the backbone to stand up to Pritzker, to hold him accountable for what's happened here. I first met the alderman in Little Village in November for a Veterans Day event. And the way he bravely stopped Pritzker and made him answer for what he is doing here was inspiring. So, please, welcome to the stage, Alderman Byron Sigcho-Lopez.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of our community, the immigrant working class communities that are being terrorized, I want to thank every single one of you for continuing to speak truth to power. To the faith leaders, to the residents, to the neighbors who come together to protect our humanity and to protect our neighbors. I see so many familiar faces today. So thank you so much for continuing to speak truth to power. No matter what side of the aisle these billionaires are, they are out of touch with reality. They are out of touch with what's happening to our communities. And it doesn't matter if it's the Republican Epstein pedophile class or our billionaires within the establishment Democratic Party. We must stand up to what is fair, what is right, what is truthful, if we really want to get out of this fascist regime. We're not going to get out of this fascist regime that didn't come overnight. It has been consolidating for many, many decades and generations. We have an opportunity today to do the right thing. The time to do what's right is always now, as Reverend Martin Luther King used to say. And it's a shame that our politicians continue to gaslight us, to continue to divide us, to advance their agenda. Governor Pritzker owes many of the faith leaders who were arrested, protesting, and to denouncing the atrocities in this facility. Governor Pritzker owes these faith leaders and all neighbors brutalized by the state police an apology. And that's why on Veterans Day, and I want to give you a context, because obviously there's a reason why the corporate media is not here, because they protect this billionaire class. They protect those interests, and they pitch us against each other. So when we went on a Veterans Day to demand better from the leadership in the state of Illinois, in our city, it is not enough to say that we are against Trump. I think at this point, I don't know who in the right mind is supporting the atrocities abroad and at home, bombing little innocent girls in Iran, or continue the genocide of Gaza, or brutalizing people here in our own cities. We must stand for one another. So when I went to a Veterans Day, that, by the way, I do attend every single year, not only when it's election time or when they need to come to try to gather votes or whatever the intentions here. But remember, I want to give you context. Bobino had announced earlier that morning that he was leaving. So to come to our community after being absent for months is a disrespect to our community. And when I asked him, and I'm still waiting for a call, like he said, that I don't call him, I have continued to call him. He doesn't answer back because he only picks up the call from the billionaire class. Those are the interests. Those are the people that are represented and represented very well. But when it comes to working people, we are yet to see representatives that are here to listen, to hear, and to fight back with us. So when we went to Veterans Day, as we do every year, we wanted to ask Governor Pritzker, what are we going to do to help those people that still today are hiding in attics and basements and coach houses, that today are afraid because they are going to lose. As we speak on May 1st, ironically, on May Day, Trump is going to take food assistance for 150,000 families in our state. Where is the leadership of the Democratic Party? Where is the leadership of the establishment? We know what's happening. We know it comes our way. So it's not only the immigrant community. We're talking about every single one of us. Governor Pritzker only a few years before that, had canceled all access to public health for someone who doesn't provide documentation. And that is for everybody. The scapegoat the immigrant community, but that is access to healthcare for anybody who goes to a public hospital in need. Now we have 435,000 people across the state of Illinois who don't have access to public health, whose premiums in July are going to increase even further. So when we're talking about leadership, we're talking about coming and actually talking with one another. We go every single time to the rallies to say no kings and no bosses. But yet, how do they behave when they say that they have no time to talk to us? And I'm being elected and re-elected by my community to continue to fight for all of us, not only for those who have documents. We respect human and constitutional rights for everyone. And Governor Pritzker did not have an answer. Did not have an answer why he continues to protect the millionaires. Just a few days ago, we find out that the state is now unwilling to tax the millionaires. A bare minimum, a 3% surcharge, 3%. Yet our property taxes across the state are doubling in many cases. We have seniors in our community who cannot retire because they cannot pay their property taxes. How is that humane? How is that humane? How is that advocating for our communities? But we do have more money for this.
My parents can't retire.
For that. We have more money to open up more detention facilities, more jails. It is a shame that we are lacking the leadership that demands this moment. When we see seniors, people in our communities starving, people who are going unhoused, people who are lacking public health, and now, worse, they're using starvation as a weapon of war. So let us not say that this is only happening in Gaza and abroad. It happens here in our own cities. So when we told Governor Pritzker why you don't want to charge the corporations and the billionaires, he also opposed the corporate head tax. $100 million for corporations like Amazon that laid off thousands of people, 30,000 people as more recently. Why is technology if it's not to help one another, but to make a handful of billionaires and oligarchs richer and richer, while the billionaire class on both aisles are complicit and look the other way? So when we ask Governor Pritzker why you protect the corporations and the billionaires, a lot harder than what you protect many of us. No answer. And the worst thing is when we use our platforms to show failed models. Now they're using this model of freedom of speech or freedom zones, whatever that is called, from 9 to 5. So I guess freedom of speech only works from 9 to 5, apparently, right? But before and after that, I guess we're going back to fascism. So we cannot fight Trump with hypocrisy. We cannot fight fascism with immorality. It's clear that these Nazis don't have consciousness. So we need to elevate the consciousness of one another and demand better from these people who, I just really was insulted when I hear Governor Pritzker saying that people in Minneapolis are looking for advice and they're calling Governor Pritzker. I don't know who in Minneapolis is calling Governor Pritzker for advice. I don't know. I haven't heard. But I tell you, I will not take that advice. It is very simple. Look, Governor Pritzker has an opportunity to hold these mercenaries accountable. It takes one phone call to the state's attorney, Eileen Burke, and say, there's already, and I thank you for the faith leaders and electeds and the neighbors, 400 people are calling on Eileen Burke, the state's attorney, to investigate the crimes that were committed in Illinois, in our county, and our state. Why is Governor Pritzker still waiting? I appreciate the Illinois Commission that he has set up, but to the extent that we go around and around to gaslight people when it takes a simple phone call. Governor Pritzker has the authority and the power to call on Eileen Burke to say, investigate those crimes now. There's such a thing of full immunity does not exist. It's a false. Non-attorney, these non-attorneys that always have opinions that they don't know about, there's nothing about it stopping us to investigating crimes. We see in Minneapolis, actually, I will ask Governor Pritzker to actually take the advice of people in Minneapolis or in Philadelphia when the DA is already investigating crimes and persecuting already some of these mercenaries that had the audacity to shoot at failed leaders right here. That's what they were doing. Many of us took rubber bullets and we took tear gas also from the state police. And ashamed of when they arrested failed leaders. In the name of whom and for what? Not for us, not the working people. Because what we see in our country is a call for action. We have pedophile billionaires in charge, and we have 30,000 children in detention centers. 30,000. Whose father? I'm talking not only as an elected official, I'm talking as a father. Shame on them. Shame on them. And they're using religion to justify these atrocities. These white nationalists, right? And now they're fighting even the Pope now. It's incredible. It's incredible the extent that they're going to. But more incredible is the lack of leadership and vision for the Democratic establishment. It's pathetic to hear Rahm Emanuel or J.B. Pritzker telling us what we need to do. We know what they've done when they cover all the Laquan McDonald and the 6 shots. We know what they're up about. We know the inhumanity. And Governor Pritzker also owes an apology to the Black Congressional Caucus, too, for his bullying tactics, trying to install his puppets instead of leaders that are fighting for us. So today I tell you, brothers, sisters, and siblings, this is a call for action. We must stand for justice with actions, not words. I love the nice, cute tweets or X things that they put out there. But you know what is more valuable? Actions. We got a call on the State's Attorney Lindbergh and Governor Pritzker to investigate the crimes of the murder of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, who left 2 daughters who were orphans. He was the only provider. And you know how they humanize, how these mercenaries, who are real rapists, by the way.
He was trying to drop his kids off at school.
He was about to go take the kids to school. And you know how they found out? So never stop speaking about Silverio Villegas Gonzalez. Now they're going to talk about how wholesome, how he's all of a sudden this bad hombre, as they like to say, right? The same language they speak. This is a father who was trying to take the kids to school, and they found out that something happened because he was 10 minutes late to work. Think about that. They knew something was wrong. How? As a father, I tell you, I will never stop speaking on his behalf, because it can happen to any of us. And what Governor Pritzker has done is to look the other way. And you know why? Because it's convenient. Because it's what the polling say. So when the polling changes, now they're deciding to start giving advice. Look at actions, not the words. And I'm grateful for the faith leaders who are matching the words of gospel with action to truly love thy neighbor. That is really true revolutionary love, to be here and fighting for our neighbors, for the humanity of all of us. So Governor Pritzker has a very simple task, if he hears me, because he said that he calls me. I'm still waiting for that call, right? Call Eileen Berg, the state's attorney. Tell her to immediately investigate the murder of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, the amazing of a 1-year-old, the arrest of at least 1 journalist. The state police, too, they need to respond to the arrests of our faith leaders. So we're going to go beyond the apology to actions and investigations. Because we are not going to put our tax dollars to brutalize faith leaders or neighbors protecting other neighbors. And I tell you today, I am full of optimism because I see my neighbors coming up and speaking up and not stopping up. But I tell you, when we talk about no kings, no bosses, we got to look in the mirror as well. Because they're acting like bosses and they're acting like kings. So when I asked Governor Pritzker, and before they told me that I guess also freedom of speech is also in certain words. Because I guess in that word I couldn't speak. So apparently it was in someone's word. So I guess in that word, freedom of speech doesn't apply. So I tell them, they will never stop. We will never stop speaking the truth. And we will never stop loving our neighbors. And justice is what we see love in display. And I tell you today, I feel optimistic because of the great people of our city and our state are standing up. to the establishment Democratic Party with no leadership, no vision. We got to abolish ICE, and we're going to investigate here. If we want to really give advice, let's start investigating these mercenaries for what they've done, and then put them in front of justice, and let's free all these children from detention facilities, and let's free every single human being there's a lot of more humanity behind those detention and those jail cells, a lot more humanity. So thank you to all our neighbors, everybody for being here. Let's continue to fight to also tax these millionaires and billionaires. That's what they can do. If they want to help us, you know what they can do? Stop paying the freaking taxes. That's what they can do. There's so many millionaires moving to our city, and not enough of them paying taxes. But they love to tell us what to do. There's only one majority, the working class people in our country. And let's start organizing and hold these lame politicians accountable. And you know what? And my last thing, I'm going to tell, because they try to intimidate us, right? They're bullies. We got to be, the audacity they have to be lecturing working people when they have so many billions to buy elections. But I tell you one thing, we must, as working people, have the audacity to organize and fight back. So you know, Governor Pritzker, you know what we are going to do in our community? We're going to organize. And I'm going to run for Congress as an independent to show them that we can win as independent, because clearly they don't know what to do once in Congress. They have continued to fail. No more bombs, no more wars, no more detention centers, no more ICE, abolish the inhumanity, and let's put money to put America truly first. It's about time. Thank you so much. Continue to fight, continue to speak, never stop, and continue to love one another. Thank you so much.